There is so much good news, so much winning out of the Trump White House right now that the mainstream legacy media can't keep up.
ABC is facing a mounting legal crisis as Karoline Leavitt files a second lawsuit against The View, intensifying the network's already precarious situation. This latest legal action specifically targets Whoopi Goldberg and other hosts of the show and has been described by legal analysts as a strategic legal missile. The controversy erupted just days after Joy Behar and Sunny Hostin were still grappling with Leavitt's initial $800 million slander lawsuit. Tensions escalated when a View host mocked Leavitt, labeling her Trump's token, and referred to her appearance at a recent event as part of a calculated GOP ploy. One of the hosts reportedly sneered, "She's lucky we let her on the show at all." The moment, which was broadcast to millions, triggered public outrage and prompted Leavitt's legal team to act swiftly. Within hours, they had gathered transcripts, video evidence, and documented quotes to support claims of retaliatory slander, reputational harm, and hostile on-air behavior. The new lawsuit alleges that the show's hosts deliberately continued their disparaging remarks despite ongoing legal proceedings, behavior that legal experts suggest may cross the line into public intimidation. Media law professionals quoted in the filings even suggested ABC might be heading toward an inevitable judgment. According to internal sources, ABC is in crisis mode. Emergency meetings are being held, sponsors are reportedly pulling out, and there's rising speculation that Whoopi Goldberg may be forced to step down under mounting pressure. What began as a single slander claim has quickly spiraled into a serious legal threat. Karoline Leavitt is aggressively defending her reputation, and The View now finds itself in dangerously deep legal waters.
Behar calls her a 10. I mean, how dare she objectify a woman with a sexist rating system? But it's such a typical thing from
ABC is facing internal turmoil as Karoline Leavitt's second lawsuit against The View triggers emotional and professional chaos within the studio. While self-defeating behavior from the show's hosts may have sparked the legal firestorm, the consequences are now spreading far beyond the set. Just 48 hours after the new lawsuit was filed, the situation reportedly devolved into panic. A senior producer, frustrated by the fallout, slammed a folder on a desk and exclaimed, "This is what happens when no one listens." According to a leaked memo confirmed by two sources, ABC had explicitly warned the View panel to avoid controversial commentary. That warning was ignored, leading to devastating repercussions. Rather than publicly addressing the criticism, ABC has responded by ramping up studio security, delaying promotional campaigns, and slashing spending. Sponsors are reportedly distancing themselves from the brand, while social media is flooded with calls for the exits of Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, and Sunny Hostin. Morale inside the studio has collapsed. One anonymous employee described the environment as barely functional, revealing that some staff are now discreetly researching severance options. Despite the storm, Karoline Leavitt has remained silent in public, allowing court filings and online outrage to make her case. Her decision to file a second lawsuit while the first is still pending has stunned observers and caught legal experts' attention, many of whom now suggest the case could set a precedent for media accountability. This is no longer just a feud between a political figure and a daytime talk show. It's a cultural moment. Leavitt's actions are forcing the media industry to grapple with evolving standards of responsibility, ethics, and the consequences of unchecked commentary in the viral age. ABC and the media at large may be facing a reckoning.
So it is the belief of this White House and the White House counsel's office that the president was within his executive authority to do that. He is the executive of the executive branch, and therefore he has the power to fire anyone within the executive branch that he wishes to. There's also a case that went before the Supreme Court in 2020, Scala Law LLC versus the Customs, Bureau Protection. I would advise you to look at that case, and that's the legality that this White House trusts.
Are you confident that if they bring lawsuits against you, the prosecutors who were fired, that they will succeed?
We will win in court.
And
Yes.
did he personally direct this, given they worked on the classified documents investigation, the election interference investigation?
This was a memo that went out by the Presidential Personnel Office, and the president is the leader of.
ABC is now grappling with what insiders are calling a nightmare scenario, as the fallout from Karoline Leavitt's lawsuits intensifies. Crisis meetings are reportedly being held around the WUF Clock, with executives forced to choose between 3 high-stakes options, none of them without serious consequences. The most painful choice, according to sources, is now being seriously considered: ending The View altogether. In an attempt to contain the damage, ABC briefly suspended Joy Behar and Sunny Hostin and launched what insiders refer to as the Peter campaign, a PR effort aimed at demonstrating accountability without harming the brand. But the move is being criticized internally as too little, too late. Even Whoopi Goldberg has reportedly acknowledged behind closed doors that privately settling both lawsuits, an option on the table, would be financially devastating and publicly humiliating. This route would involve formal retractions, public apologies, and possibly hundreds of millions in payouts, with no guarantee the backlash would subside. The most extreme option, the so-called nuclear one, is now under serious review, canceling The View and rebranding the entire time slot. Just weeks ago, this seemed unthinkable. But with major advertisers pulling out and stating they won't support programming under active defamation litigation, ABC may have no choice. One sponsor bluntly said, "We will not associate with the iTeens show under legal fire." Audience sentiment has also shifted. Loyal viewers are demanding accountability, and legal experts warn ABC that failure to act decisively could mean years of court battles. Once seen as untouchable, ABC is now facing the harsh reality that unchecked commentary can come with a steep price. Karoline Leavitt didn't just respond. She flipped the script, challenging media norms and exposing vulnerabilities legacy networks thought they'd outgrown.
Proud to provide the truth from this podium, we ask that all of you in this room hold yourselves to that same standard. We know for a fact there have been lies that have been pushed by many legacy media outlets in this country about this president, about his family, and we will not accept that. We will call you out when we feel that your reporting is wrong or there's misinformation about this White House.
Boom. She's got more.
I would like to point out to each and every one of you that in 2024, when Joe Biden was in the Oval Office, or upstairs in the residence sleeping, I'm not so sure, egg prices increased 65% in this country.
Bam! It's on in the middle of the...
On live television, The View mocked, dismissed, and publicly degraded Karoline Leavitt, leaving her facing serious legal and reputational fallout. Now, just days later, the show is scrambling to contain the damage with rushed PR efforts and carefully worded apologies. But Karoline isn't positioning herself as a victim. She's presenting the facts plainly, without embellishment or dramatics. This battle goes beyond personal insults or a feud with Whoopi Goldberg. It's about confronting a media system that has, for years, silenced dissent and deflected accountability. If The View thought the controversy would quickly fade, they miscalculated. Karoline isn't backing down, and she's not playing by the old rules. Instead, she's reshaping them.